behind carts and stuff. However, this cart eats a dick. Like a whole bag of nasty dick.
Whole bag of nasty dicks.
Bursts into flame and immediately denies them a piece of cover. I mean, it's still kind of cover, but they can't like shoot over it. The flames just engulf this thing, creating yet more fire, which is kind of a drop in the ocean at the moment with how fucked things are in the town. So it is Gregor. You are running forward. You've distracted some of them. However, you are going to take a bunch of shots from some pretty enthusiastic people.
Fucking let them try, you know.
So a 14, a 9.
No,
wow.
No.
And out of 1, 2, 3.
Looking for any number higher than 24 or equal to 24.
Okay, and can you give me 2 dex saving throws, please?
Now that I can do. I can find my fucking stats. There we go. Dex 17 and 12.
Okay, so on a 17, you dodge the first vial that comes sailing towards you. The second one, it hits you. It hits you in the chest, and Gregor bursts into flames. It hurts you in no way whatsoever. But Gregor, you are entirely on fire, screaming and running towards them with a fucking weapon drawn.
Fucking right.
Moving very quick for a dwarf. It's a sight to behold. They're a little worried. Taking it to Gavin. Gavin, buddy, you're up. You are muted and you are up.
Gavin still running full speed ahead and sees that you said I'm about 80 feet from the from the structure, and just goes, Cuthbert, and you see him grit his teeth, and this all of a sudden all of the veins in his eyes start to bulge as though he were going into some type of zeal-induced rage as he barrels forward even faster than he was before, dashing so he covers the entire 80 feet in that amount of time. And then you see a holy light infuse him as I cast Thunderstep.
What the fuck is this nonsense?
Which basically, to then a giant wave of thunder damage emanates out of him. I need everyone within 10 feet of me, so to make a dexterity saving throw, or take 17 thunder damage, as I then teleport inside the building.
Gregor, can you give me a dex saving throw? No, it's con.
I ran 80 feet forward before I did it.
That's what you were saying straight through this whole time. I see what you're doing now.
I basically go off like a bomb right in front of the door and teleport myself even further into the building.
Okay, I'm a nat 20. Nat 20, holy shit. Damn, these guys. What's your spell save?
My spell save is... Shit, what is my spell save? Sorry. It's 15.
Holy shit.
Look at all these guys. Well, they still take half.
With +2, yeah, I know. So on a half, they take the damage. On failed one.
8. And then that was my question to you about, do structures take siege damage from thunder? So is it actually, does the structure take 35 as it blows apart?
Yeah, so,
hopefully.
Okay, so basically these guys managed to mostly throw themselves out to one side. However, in front of you, Gregor, you see Gavin sprint. He somehow overtakes you, just full on
locomotive right into it.
And at the last second, he literally he flares for a split second, blindingly white light, and he suddenly vanishes. And as sort of like his silhouette, his outline that's sort of burnt into your retina collapses in on itself to a pinprick of pure bright energy. It suddenly expands rapidly, and a shockwave goes off. And the cart that you set on fire comes apart like matchsticks. Kindling goes fucking everywhere. And you watch as the balcony of the front of this baker's shop just vanishes. It caves in, the front of the building almost comes off, and you hear chaos as most of these guys are flung sort of in each and every direction, but some of them are pretty badly hurt, but most of them are just sort of like have gone prone for a second, like rolled to cover, and they climb back up to their feet. There are no longer any people lined up to shoot you. All of their focus is what the fuck just happened and the chaos that is going on inside.
I'm just inside roaring, kind of mindlessly.
Okay, he's fucking lost it.
Taking it to Zoom's platoon, the Zoom platoon, which, the Zoom platoon are coming with you guys. They fucking...
Oh, Zoom platoon. I'm sorry, I thought I meant Zoom.
They sprint forward, and immediately, like, as these guys are climbing to their feet, they are just suddenly have all manner of guys up in their face. They're not going to get any attacks, but they fill the fucking gaps. They swarm in like a fucking tide of insects, just getting, it's like separating all of the men, getting up close and personal. And Gregor, there is no opposition that is facing you outside. Everyone is preoccupied, and it's going to get really violent outside. It's up to you. Are you fighting outside where it's going to be hard to tell between, Zoom's guys and these guys? Do you feel like murdering everything outside, or do you feel like murdering everything inside?
I want to know what's going on inside now. I want to fucking see Gavin go ham,
So you arrive just as literally like a guy tries to swipe at you, and he's just full on shoulder checked by an undead that drags him to the floor and begins clawing at him. All around you, it's fucking chaos. You come into what was quite an open space. There are spaces for people to sit and eat in here. This place obviously did food. There are a couple of tables. Most of the tables are gone and are being used to barricade the windows and places like that. So there's a huge open sort of killing floor. It's probably the first thing that comes to your mind, Gregor. There is a sweeping L-shaped bar with people sort of have stockpiled weapons, and they appear to have sort of a small stockpile of explosives there. And there are a lot of guys in here who are arming up or in the process of like filling on sort of these vials of alchemist stuff.
Good.
But they all look very confused as to what the fuck suddenly Gavin is doing in the room. Gavin is just heaving. There is steam coming off him, and he's standing smack bad on a scorched black mark in the center of the room.
Total Terminator, man. Beginning of Terminator.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Gavin, what is it that Gregor sees as you slowly raise up this huge hulk of a man?
You see him raise up, and you notice in his hand isn't his warhammer anymore, but this mace. But on the end of the mace, it's not just a regular ball with spikes. You would swear it was a tiefling head with 6 horns on it, as though as a gift from his god Saint Guthbert, as Gavin took out his fury on what had happened in another realm, in another dimension, gifted him with the skull of someone who might have betrayed him when he was vulnerable. And I start swinging my hex skull mace.
Okay, buddy.
Whoever's closest. I am in full rage.
There is a guy who is smack bad, like in front of you. He has a pouch open, like almost like a messenger bag open, that he's got like a couple of vials in. He's just standing there frozen. You've appeared in front of him, and you look at him, he looks at you. He drops the violin and reaches for the short sword in his hip, but you go there, you get there faster. Roll me to hit.
25.
Oh, that's a tasty opening. Okay, roll me the damage.
That would be 14 bludgeoning and 14 fire as the skull ignites, flame licking off of these horns of the rage of Gavin having been betrayed by someone who he had put his trust in seems to almost emanate off of this skull as he now uses it as a weapon against those who would stand against him.
That's 2 off max damage. That's exactly 2 off max damage there. Tell me how this guy meets his end.
Those horns, they're not big, long tiefling horns. I kind of think of them more as like oversized, like rose thorns. And anyone who's ever fallen into a rose bush just knows how those just rip and tear. He basically does a swing from low to high, and it pretty much rips this guy's skin off, leaving him pretty much flayed. And then to add insult to energy, leaves behind these trails of fire in the wounds themselves, as basically his flaming gore just drips to the ground. There's not much left of this guy.
He comes apart like he basically like opens up like he's been opened up for like by an abattoir. It's horrific. And he slams back into the wall and lands on a table where there are like, you can see that the 2 guys have like whetstones or sharpening blades, and they both turn to you. And you've got a couple more attacks. So these 2 guys move up to you. Roll me some more attacks.
So yeah, he'll swing the mace again on a 28.
A 28, yep.
You finally got cool, Gavin. Jeez.
Oh, you know what? On a 20,
do
I crit on 19s and 20s? I don't know. I don't think I do yet. I think that's later. I think that'd be later. I don't think I do yet. So
not yet.
Not yet. And that would be for 27 points of damage. Sorry, I double rolled.
Yeah, that's cool. He just to kill this guy as well. So two guys. The first guy just comes apart, and the second guy gets up, takes issue with your violent murder of his friend, and he draws what appears to be sort of almost like a sickle, and grabs a shield, and he tries to bring the shield up, and like the Witch King of Agma, you just straight through the shield, break his arm, and he slams and breaks the table, and all fucking manner of hell kicks off as there's quite a few other people you're picking up in your periphery now. Gregor, you see this happen as Gavin is probably surrounded by about 10 guys who have been caught utterly with their pants down, but have suddenly realized that this is fight or die, and all of them go for weapons.
Let's fucking do this, Gavin! Finally you got cool. Only took you 2 seasons.
And as Gregor comes in, you guys are pretty much fucking surrounded, baying for blood as these guys look pretty fucking angry. We're going to cut to Zoom. I'm going to ask headphones off for you guys just for a sec. Yeah. So, Laurelania, you can you nip around the corner, sort of down an alleyway, and see that. Give me a. I'll let you choose perception or survival check.
I'm gonna go with perception, and I'm gonna use my nat 20.
On a nat 20, you spot this thing. You spot this thing vanish. Like you just catch it. It vanishes through a slightly open door into a building that most definitely looks empty. In fact, it looks like it suffered a bit of fire damage already, or it looks like it was quite a while ago. So this place looks like a husk, probably no tenants there at all. It's empty, and it slips through just out of the corner of your eye into this building. It's not a particularly big building. There's just 2 stories to it, but it's like a townhouse, like sandwiched in the middle of like a block of dilapidated accommodation.
I open my mouth and let my teeth kind of silently scream an echo of frustration as I fly into the room.
Right. As you fly into the room, I'm going to give you this to you on your nat 20. You spot something in here. You spot something. I don't know if Zoom's ever encountered this before. There is a figure on the floor in front of you. They look like they died quite a while ago. They have been left here. They looks like they died in sort of the initial blaze. Their body is pretty badly burnt, but you'd imagine they're probably asphyxiated. And next to it, on the floor, almost like a pet that has returned and doesn't know what's wrong with its master, is something small. It's probably about the size of, say, a cat. Except it's most definitely not a cat. It has 4 legs that look like quite muscular, strong clawed legs. It walks on all 4s, and its body is strangely slimy and slick and oddly shaped, like a huge egg. But it has strange crisscrosses running through it. It takes you a moment, but you realize that it appears to be a brain with 4 legs coming out of it.
Nope! 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 Nope!
And it turns.
Nope. Bye! Bye! Goodbye! 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 Fuck! Why did I chase this stupid thing? Fuck! No!
So, I believe you understand that there are certain things that will now happen.
Oh, how many are there?
You're looking at 1.
Okay, I have a very fast movement speed.
Okay,
tell me everything that's happening right now.
Roll me an initiative.
Don't give a shit, mate. Tell me what's going on.
I'm gonna roll for it.
Hopefully, Zuna's dying.
Oh, man.
Right, I'm gonna need some checks for you. I've still got it on Whisper Roll, but take it on me. I promise you I would not lie to you about this. Rolled an 18. So it's going to get a chance to react before you do. So, give me a...
I'm shaking, dude. No, I'm shaking.
Give me an intelligence saving throw, please. You are fine from that. And this thing is going to... you feel it sort of latch onto your mind for a split second, and suddenly sort of a million voices in your head all at once. And then this sudden silence comes. It sort of, the voices vanish. You sort of like block your mind against it. And it is there, and it is backing away from you, almost like a hound guarding its master who's sleeping as this corpse is lying on the floor.
Curious. That's not normal behavior for them. To guard a body? I don't need you. I need to figure out what's the body. Am I really gonna do this? Oh man, Zune. No, I'm just gonna. I'll go.
It's hesitating. You feel like the onslaught stopped, and now it's backing away from you.
It's it's not worth the risk. I'm sorry. I'm gonna Misty step on the fuck out of here and get back to the guys.
Okay.
I don't want to hear anything about my cowardice, chat. This is a tactical retreat.
Okay, so you Misty step the fuck out of there. As you, where are you going?
Back to the Gavin and them, and maybe the body will still be there. We have a better chance 3-on-1. What is it's the Underdark. Of course, there's intellect devourers here, but why would it guard a body? I'm flying back to them and pondering this.
Okay.
What does my character know about intellect devourers? I guess that's what the nature check was.
Yeah, you've heard of, like, you grew up in the Underdark. You've heard of them. You've never seen one before, but you've heard of them. And they are like the bogeyman. They are fucking...
There's nothing worse for a wizard than to lose their mind, like...
Yeah, so, I mean... There you are. But you would know what they are generally most definitely associated with.
Oh, we're up against an Alhoon.
So, you have in front of you sort of the canvas of town. You've sort of gained some altitude, putting, distance from the ground, because they can't fly, right? They can't fly. It's okay, I'm safe. If I stay floating in the air, I'm fine. And you guys, let me just grab them back.
Yeah, when I saw the reaction, I was like, there's only one thing that would make Lorelania, much less Zune, react like that.
So, you see, you climb pretty fucking quick, and you look down just in time to see a fucking explosion, the front of a building come off, and a flaming dwarf run into a building shortly afterwards. And all manner of hell kick off. You also see your horde of minions attacking outside.
Yes, my power. Back to them. Making my way through the streets as quickly as possible. No. But I will hopefully be able to bring my undead family back with me.
Okay. So you zip on over there pretty fucking quick. What's the plan here? Are you taking the boys, leaving Gavin and Gregor for this? And
I just want to see what's going on with Gavin and Gregor. If they're still lost in the midst of chaos, then I'll take about 6 or 7 of my zombies and go back, because then I stand a better chance.
Okay, so, right, Gavin and Gregor, you guys are going to take some attacks. So they're going to focus on Gavin, because Gavin just straight up killed 2 of their guys.
I don't blame him.
Gregor gets fire, and it's hard to get close to him at the moment. It's hard to be close to Gregor in general.
Very true.
I've got a whole load of swings coming your way, Gavin. Oh god, this is quite a lot of them. So I've got 3
hits
there and 3 hits. Okay. So these guys mostly are going to come at you with pretty fucking nasty looking blades. So it is 3 hits. So that, and then 12. Plus 2. So you take a total. Oh damn! That nat 20 stings. So that's 6, 12, and then 12 plus 19. That's math. It's math, Gregor. Something we have here. In
32.
Against me, 32 damage.
Yeah, 32, actually 31. But
No,
as they hit me, it seems as though Gavin's skin is almost hard, and he's dodging the attacks, and only takes half damage as I am resistant to slashing, bludgeoning, and piercing as I am raging.
You take a bunch load of hits, and it hurts. You register the pain, but it's more a theoretical sort of hypothetical scenario being hurt than actually being hurt itself. Gregor, you are going to take a couple of attacks. These guys are going to come at you. Slightly fewer of them. Wow. So one of them comes up to you, and as he swings in, you manage to just grapple him, and he starts to burn. He's a tiefling, so they have limited fire resistance. They're nowhere near as fire resistant as you are, but it hurts him a lot less than It probably should. So he's going to take. Oh god damn. Okay. So he only takes half that. So he'll take.
Die.
9 damage.
So,
sort of like you basically pin his arm as he goes to try and stab you to your side and just let him burn. And it is now.
That's what happens.
It is Gregor fucking Tuscan's turn.
Oh. Alright. Hello, mate. Let's use a nat 20 on this fucking guy, shall we? Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that.
I'd roll. I don't think you can not kill him, but roll anyway.
I will try. 19 right back on his fucking face.
Oh no, he's already taken damage. You kill this guy. How do you kill this poor fucker?
I just, this one's gonna be a nice and easy one. Just, squidge. Brain
you
chili.
Just squidge. Yeah, so you just bring him in like a headlock and turn to look at your next victim, and as you do, you just sort of, the headlock becomes too intense and his head pops off. There is 2 guys standing there, one guy sort of backing away. They have pretty fucking vicious looking curved short swords with serrated edges, and they look like they might have tried coating them in something.
They might have fucking tried. I've got a second attack. Can I do that on a guy nearby me?
Yep, absolutely.
Alright, you can fucking die too, mate. 18.
And 18 hits. Roll me some damage.
7 bludgeoning points of damage. But you can say.
He takes it.
Take it like a bitch. So he does.
Sort of staggers backwards slightly, noticing that you've sort of almost like he's basically managed to glance off some of the hit with his sword, and there's quite clearly you've just taken like some of the serrated edge is just gone under the maul.
Good. Hello.
Sorry, you all froze for me for a second there.
Yeah, you're good.
Taking it round to Gavin. Gavin, you are knee deep in. There are 6 guys currently surrounding you with blades trying to stab you from all fucking angles. You've taken quite a few hits. You notice that not everyone in here is involved in the fight. Others are grabbing stuff and trying to climb out windows and stuff. There's plenty of these vials lying around as well. You are also muted.
Plenty of the exploding vials.
Oh yeah. They have a small stockpile here. They are packing them into bags and fucking leaving.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Okay.
Sorry, because of typing.
Okay.
So, Gavin, seeing this and seeing all of them in there, he is going to double dash his shit back out of there. But as he's running out, he's going to point the Hex Skull Mace into that cache of those things. And as flaming horns all sort of make a little bead of light that just goes dink and falls into it and drops a fireball into that whole cache of all that exploding stuff. So I get out of there. I know my buddy Gregor doesn't care about fire damage, so I'm taking out the building, maybe the whole block.
Okay, I'm gonna allow you to do me the honors. I'm gonna need you to roll me a good old. Let's just because I like to see a number. Can you roll me 40d6, please?
40.
40d6.
Wow, that's our biggest roll this episode.
That would be an extra 115 points of fire damage.
So you do 140 points, 147 points of fire damage and criminal destruction. The fucking the building vanishes for a split second. Zune, you are like coming right up close and suddenly have a horrible flashback to a moment where you had a fucking dragon flying just above you, and the last saw was it open its jaw, and you knew you'd fucked up as it burnt you to a crisp. Yeah, this is similar to that as the heat suddenly comes forward. Give me a dex saving throw, Zune.
And I don't give a single fuck.
Okay. On a 12, you crash land on the building sort of across the street, having to sort of just suddenly divert very, very quickly away from the inferno that's expanding.
My zombies.
Take 9 damage, 9 bludgeoning damage. Your zombies.
Oh darn! I killed a bunch of undead.
Your zombies.
Shucks.
On a roll. Let's see.
That wasn't part of the plan or anything.
Mr. Gavin Fjordhammer.
Your 4 bodyguards make it clear, just clear of the explosion, but they are flung into the building you are currently on top of. They are flung into the wall and lay crumpled in a heap for a moment. The rest are gone entirely. There is next to nothing left of them. The building vanishes and is just a gutted husk. There's no ceiling, there's no upper floor. It's just, and you notice, Gavin, that there was a huge hole in the floor, which was probably a cellar, which probably had some more of that stuff in there. The buildings on either side, it's at the end of the street, so the building next to it is just fucking caved in, completely fucked. Gregor, you are currently lying in a hole at least 1 floor down, and you are half buried.
I am like fucking Daenerys Targaryen right now. I can't burn a fucking dragon, and I'm naked.
You are going to take 20 bludgeoning damage from being in the center of a building that exploded and then caved in.
That was worth it, I'd say.
However, you are completely unharmed by the fire. You are prone and currently lying under half a building.
I'm just fucking cackling right now. Ah!
Just 2 fingers, just stay.
Gavin got cool. Alas.
Zune, you can see that, there is nothing left of this building. Some of your personal bodyguard, as I'm referring to them as, the 4 red shirts, ironically made it. But everyone else is fucked. Everything in here is completely fucked. You notice the fighting seems to die down around you as well, as there are still fights going on in the streets, but whatever this is, it's quite clearly hurt their progress.
I'm glad to see that, as always, the 2 of you kept a low profile. We have even bigger problems than what we have just faced. I need you to come with me immediately. This is very important.
Can I do a perception to see if, does there seem to be anything happening with these invaders around us?
Roll me a perception check.
I just assumed you fucking destroyed them all.
Yeah, I assume I've taken out quite a bit. Did I sort of,
You can see the other side of the clearing around the military building, which has been torched. You can see guys on the rooftops that are sort of scouting out and probably reporting back that they just lost something important. But the fighting has pretty much died out around here. You see that there are a couple of civilians, or sort of the locals, I should call them, who are armed, sort of come round and immediately sort of try and retake the street. They go into, some of them go into buildings, some of them grab stuff. A lot of them go straight to fire control, grabbing buckets of water, whatever they can do to try and stop this blaze from spreading. Unfortunately, it's quite tight packed down here. This isn't the richest of towns. It's probably going to spread quite quick, along with all the other fires that are kicking off.
Gotcha.
Soon starts heading, assuming that they're going to follow. I'm going to talk as I'm flying alongside them, since I can move faster than they can.
Gregor is buried under half.
Yeah, I'm fucking buried, sweet. I'm not going fucking anywhere right now.
Yeah. Do I need to go help him out?
Give me an athletics check, Gregor.
I'll send my zombies to assist him.
I'm out of here.
On a 23, Gregor pretty much single-handedly tears his way out. He doesn't have to worry about how hot the timber is or anything.
It wasn't a dwarven building, so it's fine.
Exactly.
Built it well. If it was dwarven wood, that's different. All right, where the fuck are we going, Zune? You look
I've come
scared.
across an intellect devourer. These creatures are usually tied to illicits. We also seem to be in the city where a lich may be. This intellect devourer was acting strange for one of its kind. It was protecting a body. I need to know why. This lich we're facing is an Alhoon, and I would like to have that information going in beforehand, not after.
Why are we worried about an intellect devourer? Not much luck going around there, is there?
Please, good dwarf.
Fine, fine. Because you're my sister-in-law, kind of.
What did you just say?
Nothing. Let's go.
Not a lot of intellect going on around here, is
I'll
there?
do it, you know, for the love of family. Let's go.
I don't have time to sort out your nonsense.
Did you see how cool Gavin was back there?
I did
Fucking
see
killed
the
everyone.
Yeah. Gavin
He
has
seems to be calmed down a little bit now, and has his wits about him.
I kind of want to talk about this, but I'm not a player character, so
Let's address this later, I feel.
Yeah, and you'll notice that the hammer is back to looking like a warhammer again.
Was that before or after I saw that? Just curious. I guess
You would have seen the warhammer at that point.
I'll tell you all about it later, Zune.
I tell you what. Give me a perception check. You were headed straight.
Sure,
to
yeah. While you were flying in.
And yeah, 19. You definitely saw that his warhammer was on fire, making out finite details and stuff like that. It definitely looked different. But
Probably a Raven Queen thing. Oh wait, that means his god is speaking to him now. Is his god speaking?
I was gonna say, yeah. Do you know? Yeah, I'm not sure if you know that or not.
Could I roll?
I'm not sure
a
if I know
religion,
that
maybe?
or not.
could you roll a? What are you trying to roll?
Religion to see if that was a paladin type spell ability.
Give me a religion check. 24. Paladins generally don't know how to fireball, and that definitely looked like a fireball. But I mean, it looked like it came from it came from his warhammer as opposed to him.
Intellect devourer is.
Yeah, haven't we got your fucking
information right now?
We gotta go devour your fucking intellect soon, so let's go.
I think that you should lead the way, good dwarf. You are most equipped to combat such a creature.
Sure. I'm not fucking scared, if that's what you mean. Seems like you are fucking scared.
No sassy response. Damn.
I mean, like,
Zune is just like I'm.
so,
Don't worry, I'll hold your hand and I go
Zune,
first.
can you lead the way?
Yeah.
You
What
point
is
me
this
in the right fucking
Intellect
direction.
devourer you're talking of.
I kind of go as fast as I think that they can keep up with, not knowing how fast they can actually go.
They moved pretty fucking quick for a very heavy guy, like quite clearly built to lift, and a short, chubby dwarf. They move bloody quick, almost outpacing you at times. But you have the advantage of being able to go over everything. You're quickly back at the building, nonetheless. And who's going in first?
I guess I am.
Exactly as you left it
Dwarf?
before.
Dwarf? After you, good dwarf.
Don't worry, all the women in your family seem to want me to go in first, as it were. Ha! And I smash in the front door.
I cannot wait to animate your
Out of character for you. Usually it's the back door, but we'll
What
get
can
to
I
that.
see? What can I see?
Hey.
Lewd. So,
I like that.
okay. As you guys separate for a split second, I'm gonna Squall and Lania, I need you to take your headphones off. Gregor's going in.
Oh, that's right, because Gregor's in there.
Yeah, you fuck off. It's me time now.
Gregor, you go into a room. There is nothing interesting in the room whatsoever. But it's fun to make Laura Lania sweat.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? Everyone in chat react like give me what faces, give me fucking pog champs. I can't believe what happened, that kind of thing. Just fuck with them.
Just panic, yeah.
Oh my god, no! No! I'm gonna scream so loud that it'll come through on the headphones. Oh my fucking god, this is terrible! Holy shit! I can't... No! No! We're doing so well, chat, we're doing so well. No! Holy fucking... And when we come back on, we're gonna pretend that everything really bad has happened as well. This is why I'm the best host. I'm the best host!
Okay.
Alright, I'm ready, let's bring him back.
Bring him back.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
So Gregor's dead.
This is really fucking bad.
So, Gregor goes in. You hear some clang from inside. What do you guys do?
I mean, Gavin would go in. I mean, that's Gavin.
Gavin goes in. Are you going in as well, Tia, or?
Yeah, behind Gavin, behind my two meat shields. Oh, and no, my zombies go in first as well.
Okay, your 4 zombies go in, you go in, and Gavin goes in. Gregor's already gone in. You see Gregor standing.
Oh no.
Okay, right.
Is he afflicted? Is the first thing I want to try and perceive.
roll me a medicine check as you look him over as Gregor slowly turns and looks at you.
If it's in him, then it won't run into me.
On a 12, you have no way of telling. You look at him, he looks like he did just a minute ago, but he looks a little out of breath and a little confused.
I'm going to begin inspecting the body.
There is no body in here. You just see your friend standing before you.
Do we see a intellect devourer, or Gavin doesn't know what one is, so it's whether I see someone with a little...
There's no external.
There's nothing here. Yeah, there's nothing that Gavin would recognize.
But you see Gregor in front of you. Gregor, I mean, you are there. Do you want to explain?
It appears weird.
Yeah. Guys, it's bad.
What is?
I walked in here and was nothing in here at all, you fucking idiots! There's fucking nothing in here, it's an empty fucking room! We got on best fucking host, remember this moment. Gregor Tuscan, who is the best fucking host. Don't worry about these tentacles on my face now or anything like that. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know where it's gone. It's gone somewhere else.
Gregor, you
are you sure this is where you saw it, Zoo?
This is indeed where I've seen it. And if the dwarf is not overtaken by it, which it does not seem that he is, then we are too late. Whatever was here was important, and they've retrieved the body.
Outside, you can see that there's sort of chaos is returned. There's not fighting, but people fighting the fire outside. So there's people sort of rushing buckets to try and back the way you guys have just left, trying to chuck water on it to see if they can contain this. And you see a couple of them running with what look to be sledgehammers. It would appear like just to clear away debris, stop it from burning, anything that they can sort of break down between to cut off the fire from making its way down the entire block. There's a real variety of individuals sort of rushing forward, no attention being paid to you guys. Your 4 undead just sort of stand there looking around, sort of a defensive perimeter around the 3 of you standing in this room.
Maybe we should, look around a wee bit. Must have like a escape hidey hole kind of place he goes to.
Well, it seemed that they were marshalling on the far side near that military building. Perhaps that should be our next
Why don't we put on some of their attire and try to blend in?
That's not a bad idea. I'm assuming we can pretty easily find these robes, but you were saying, are all of them tieflings, or there's some humans and stuff mixed in?
You haven't really been able to identify. Actually, no, you would have seen that there were definitely some not tieflings because they had paler skin. And they basically have. You haven't seen any drow, but most of them have sort of sleeveless, wearing very light armor and everything like that. So you can see their skin tone beneath, but most of them have face wraps and sort of coverings and stuff like that. So
I am a master of disguise, so
you do have 4 individuals standing around you, all wearing the uniform,
which will help.
They're all soaked in blood, but I mean, pretty much everyone is soaked in blood.
Who isn't these days? I say we do it. Chuck on a couple of outfits and head up there, see what they're doing. See what's occurring.
That is a good idea.
That should make sense.
Keeps looking over at Gregor every now and then.
Usually I pull weird faces.
I go to get some clothes or take some off of the zombies that are there and try to start.
They offer them up quickly and pretty quickly. I mean, they take it literally. They strip entirely, all of them. There's no sort of like pass over your uniform. They disrobe entirely. It's a bit of a mess, and 4 naked, reanimated corpses stand around you in various states of disrepair.
Oh, looks like we're seeing their Underdark now.
It's not the first time I've raised a few bones.
He's fine.
See what you did there.
Zoom made a joke! It was creepy and necrophilic,
You made an
but it was a
undead
joke.
necrophiliac orgy joke. I am so proud of you, Zune. Damn it, I picked the wrong sister. Kidding. No, just kidding.
I do hope you are joking, or I will hang you upside down and bleed you slowly.
Okay. Is that an offer or... Oh, right, no, it's a... Got it. Gotcha. On the same page.
Once we look like them, did you capture their commander? Did you see where they were going? Have you seen my sister, I say? Looking
We
down
just
at
found
Greg.
a stockpile here, an old bakery that they were using to stockpile those fire bombs. I figured we should let them have a taste of their own medicine.
Yes, you're quite the spellcaster now, Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin went all rage mode, and then he ate a bucket of damage, and then he did a fireball and blew everything up. It's well funny. The coolest thing he's done this whole time, this whole march, and it has been a very, very long march.
It's definitely him. Yes.
It's definitely Gregor. Yeah, now I'm totally sold.
Apparently, after my encounter with the book and delivering it to the gods, I have gained some of the favor of St. Cuthbert that I did not have previously.
You are the most sound tactical person here. If you were to set up a headquarters, where would you do it?
Well, where it was already set up, the military building. If the question is how they took it over in the first place, assuming it would be well guarded for handling the siege. But if somehow they infiltrated it, once you're in, then you gotta dig them back out again.
Maybe they used that intellect devourer guy, devour some fucking minds, get your way on in easy, all that.
Yes. What does an intellect devourer do?
Yeah.
It essentially makes you a puppet and a slave. It is almost like a terrifying mini version of the movie. You lose all of your control of your body, who you are, and you become something else. And I go into the more detailed Zune type description of an intellect devourer.
Some people pay a great deal of money for that.
It's blah blah blah.
I'll give you, so an intellect devourer is essentially the boogeyman of the Underdark. They take over your form in its entirety. There is no way to sort of detect outside. They don't eat their way into your brain or sort of like do any wounds or anything like that. They find an incapacitated humanoid and they teleport into your head, eating your current brain, killing you permanently. And then they latch on to the inner workings and they puppet you. They know supposedly everything you knew in life, all your personality, they absorb and they carry it on. And if a body that their current host is killed, they can teleport out and move onwards. They are nasty fucking things. Not very fearsome on their own, quite weak.
Groups, they are.
And in the right person, they are very dangerous, considering if they take over someone who's... If they were to take over Gavin, they'd be Gavin strong. If they were to take over Zoom, they'd be Zoom smart. If they were to take over Gregor...
They'd be as good a host as I am.
Yeah.
Right.
Zune goes very pale when making this description, by the way. It goes like it's sucking the life out of her to say this out loud.
Don't worry, Zune, sweetie. I'll look after you. Me and Gav, you know. Big brothers and all that. What are we there for? Protecting you from intellect devourers in the Underdark. Is what I was going for.
Is this process instant?
Yes.
Yes.
There is no saving someone who has been...
I have never tried to remove. I've only heard of them.
But
If there's one, there's likely more. And that is how they could have taken over this area. This could be an intellect-devouring squadron of horribleness.
Sounds pretty cool to me, I
all
mean.
of them, they were acting coordinated.
Yeah, they were acting like a
Coordinated
fucking
manner,
unit, weren't
like
they?
trained soldiers. I just took it to the fact that they had been soldiers in the fiendish army.
Well, here's an easy way to tell. I look around for a dead body that hasn't been maimed too badly.
I mean, you have 4 corpses standing in the room with you.
How am I gonna get to its brain? I guess I could just
I
pop
keep
a
mine in
hole
my
the side
chest.
of its head with my dagger and just see if there's anything in there besides the liquid. So I just gotta.
You pop
See
a
my
hole
brain
inside
leaks
the stomach. Yeah, brain leaks out.
Okay.
I mean, there's no undoing that. Like,
Okay.
I thought you were like, I'll just cork it up. No.
No.
I'm
going
Good
around
thing
to-
zombies don't need brains.
Yeah, I'm going to check each of them to see if they've all got brains.
All of the guys, the red-shirted guys, all have brains. They all sheep.
Well, mathematically, it's unlikely an intellect-devouring army.
Take a while, wouldn't it? But maybe some of them, you know, key figures and all that.
They are also tied to lipids, which is
Those guys with the, you know, tentacle faces and all that.
yes, those are exactly the ones.
I mean, if you were looking to take over a place like this, and full frontal assault might not be the best fucking idea, you know. If you had intellect devourers, maybe you could take out, you know, patrols of guards, captains, that kind of thing. When you do attack, you're leaderless and you get fucked. No one sees them coming, that kind of thing, you know.
If
We
I'm
see
not
tunnels.
mistaken, the only way to remove an intellect devourer is with a wish spell.
That is the only way to. You would know there are supposedly ways of getting them out, but to save someone who's already had it, like the second it's in, you're dead. You are clinically dead. You have no brain. It is your brain. If you were to remove it, the body is dead. So yeah. It maintains, like, the intellectual devourer will maintain like blood flow. It will act as your new brain, but if it is removed, if you have no replacement brain, your old brain is gone. So
Need to get a new
it's
brain,
wish spell or something akin to that, like in high level stuff.
So, because of the conversation I had, Zazun, these intellect devourers can affect and inhabit the undead as well. I would have thought that would have been difficult.
You might
Well,
be muted.
because once the body dies, they must leave it. They require living.
So I pat Gregor on the back and say, let's go along.
Do it.
Any suspicion I had is gone. That doesn't allay Zune's fears, but I'm perfectly happy.
I'm just about as likely to eat you in your sleep as I was before, okay?
Well, that's an interesting question, Gavin, because if it was in the body in life, I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I said that.
Maybe I am an intellect devourer. That would be a real plot fucking twist, wouldn't it?
Yes, quite.
Stir the pot there.
Let's stir the plot. Okay, we don't. Gavin is fine. I'm like, let's go to the military complex because he's
Personally, I don't know who to trust.
He is assured in his confidence that there's no way that there could be a problem with his buddy the vampire because he doesn't know about the day and night thing or half fanged that he got half fanged. That sounds weirdly.
I feel completely normal. Let's go.
You seem completely normal and correct. We should go.
Cool.
That is why I sent the dwarf in first. Usually the intellect devourers go for things of intelligence. As I said, you were best equipped to go into the room first, good dwarf.
Do you think that's
Is
a
there
fucking
any way we can
insult?
protect ourselves? If there was one, you said there possibly more. I certainly would not want something to eat my brain.
They are the boogeymen.
It's not so bad, Gav. You know, after the first few seconds or so. I'm kidding! Or am I?
Can we kill him and bring him back to life?
You would be in for a fucking surprise, sweetheart.
I kind of look at her and just like...
We could for a moment just destroy him. You are a paladin, are you not? That would solve all of our problems.
Wouldn't fucking so mind,
There's
sweetheart.
no problem. I don't see why you're so concerned, Zune.
Zune is still pale.
Not like I'm gonna eat your brains, Zune.
Shut up!
You're scaring me. I like it. Part of you does as well. Let's go in. How about you go first, Zune? I'll follow right behind you.
Oh, you get to mess with Zune so bad now. So
remember earlier on, Laurelania, when I said, you know how
we're
we're friends?
Yeah, we're friends. We're fucking good friends, buddy. This is...
I've got your back, Zune.
I wrote this before you even told me you were going to play a drow. Like, this is all this has all been in place for ages.
So
don't look at me.
From where we are, can I get a better assessment of the battlefield and where we might need to head to next?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, this isn't really our mission, right? We're still just dealing with an insurrection we haven't even gotten out of the town that we were supposed to be defending yet.
Yeah, indeed. Give me a quick perception check. You have an upstairs to this building, and it's got an okay view, sort of over the rooftops.
To 12, lots of action.
Certainly died down a little, but I mean, you can't see what's happening on the other side of the town through the smoke haze. You look up, and you immediately can see that the smoke is like pooling across the ceiling. It looks now like you can see the pyramid, but you can't necessarily see the rock that it's attached to at its base. The ceiling is kind of becoming obscured.
That's going to become a problem for our friends up in the council chamber. But they're going to have to deal with it themselves.
Welcome.
We should try to see if we can see what's happening at this military building, and then we still have a lich to go deal with.
Let's go to the military base. Let's do that.
Lead on.
Okay. So you guys make your way back.
Oh, I can actually stealth now because I don't have on big giant armor.
Indeed.
I'm not at disadvantage. I don't even care if we're sneaking or not. I'm doing a stealth check just because.
It's not bad. It's a 17. It's the
on a
perfect
17.
number.
He's like, whisper quiet.
Okay, guys.
And Laurel, and you're back there like singing show tunes.
No, so
thanks for taking away my joy, Zune.
Gavin, you remain pretty much unseen. You are super sneaky as you make your way down, but Zune keeps jumping at her own fucking shadow and knocking stuff over. Zune is jumpy as fuck right now, as on a couple of occasions, genuinely, you're pretty sure something, and then like it will just be like a legitimate cat or something will go past. Fucking the stuff of nightmares where
I am zombie walled in, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
they're all naked as well, might I remind you, as you guys are now wearing their clothing. So yeah, they can you guys give me some insight checks as you make your way down? You're heading towards a military base. You're going to pretty much go past the building that you came in on.
I'm thinking about sending.
I'm like Rogadin, man.
Yeah.
Wait, stealth check is it or?
It's just an insight check. You missed the stealth check. Gregor missed the stealth.
No, I didn't do the stealth check. I got an insight check. I saw. Yeah, I was confused by that.
That's right. Give me
stealth's a fucking 8.
Give me an 8 on stealth. Okay, so Gregor is equally quiet.
My insight check is at 17. I don't know if anyone wanted that or not, but there you go.
Okay. So, first of all, you guys all notice that these guys, you are walking down the street in the enemy's uniform. You are not being all that subtle with Zoom, sort of helping away. You stick out like sore thumbs, but they don't pay you no mind. They seem to realize with the undead surrounding you guys who you are, and the local citizens are just putting out the fires. Ignoring you entirely, despite the fact you were dressed entirely like the people who have just burnt their fucking streets down. And they leave you be. You guys make your way down to see the gutted remains. You see that they have started work about 3 doors down, trying to basically just like break this building down to stop this fire from spreading. They're just going at it with like hammers and whatever they can. Firefighters running past with sort of water, but you make it past the smoke. The barracks is almost burnt out now. There's a lot of black smoke rising, but the fire is mostly just sort of embers and the few bits that are still ablaze. Mostly sort of the rafters and timber frame and stuff like that, but it glows with heat. And there's a bit of a clearance around it, a defensible perimeter of 30 feet, so no one could sneak up on it or jump across from the nearby building. On the other side of town, you make out, just on the rooftop, the glimpse of red moving across the rooftops. They appear to have pulled back to the north side of town. And they still have some fight left in them, it would seem. Or they're trying to cover their retreat, one way or the other. What's your plan going forth?
So they're no longer holed up in the military building. It's been basically razed. Okay. In that case, yeah, I think we need to, we press the attack while we've got the advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, hit where it hurts.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys move forward. It's how many of you is there? There's 7 of you in total. You guys move forward with Zoom literally like turtling behind her wall of undead flesh for full protection. As are you guys going in fast and hard, or are you going in slow?
I want to assess the situation, see if I can get a tactical advantage by either flanking or Gavin knows you can't pull the same trick twice with me going in and doing the thunder explosion. So I would say, I don't know if they put up any kind of barricades, battlements, they reinforce the position, or they just getting situated so that we can cause havoc before some of that happens.
2 checks, perception and wisdom for me. Just a wisdom check and a perception test.
14 perception, wisdom check. Is it natural?
Nat 20. A 14 perception. You look around, you don't see much. It looks like they've sort of fallen back into the woodwork and are hiding. On your 23 wisdom, you realize a couple of things. There was supposedly quite a lot of them. You were told hundreds, potentially, by the people who were literally above it all, looking down upon the battlefield with a pretty fucking good vantage point. From what you can tell, you have fought maybe, like 10, 15% of their forces have been focused here. The rest probably spread throughout the city, but you're starting to realize that a lot of they have stuck to the rooftops. They fought very guerrilla style. As you look around, you note that they have focused most of their firebombing on the south side of town and the main keep, which has an overlook point. They've essentially come in, blinded the local citizens, and raised the south side of town, but they have not touched the north side of town. And in the distance, you can see just past, there is the hut, which you would recognize as the one-eyed man's hut, which is sort of set back from town. And you make out that there are figures surrounding the hut. They don't look like they're setting up sort of perimeter. They look like they're moving out. In fact, if you look back even further, you can see that there are more figures where you originally saw sort of archers firing bows from quite a distance, flaming arrows into the town. You can now see that there is a sizable force. It doesn't look like it's getting ready to attack. It looks like it's retreating.
So the red cloaked people are retreating and they are pulling back away from the hut, as though maybe they took that person.
Indeed.
Okay. That's a problem.
Looks like they got the one-eyed geezer.
Yes, that is a problem.
Right.
Is there any way from where we are to flank them and maybe ambush them? I mean, where are they? Do they seem to be heading for tunnels in the north?
Tunnels in the north, yeah. They're going straight out.
But from where we are, we're sort of over on the west, right now?
There is there's probably about half a mile between you and them. They have come in. All of the focus in town seems to have kicked up a lot of smoke, blinded most of the guys around here, and made them focus on firefighting. In the meantime, they have left the north side of town almost untouched, and they are pulling back very quickly.
I looked to Zune, and we've got to somehow follow them. We've got to get, if they are in fact sent from the other city, we need to try to get ahead of them, flank them.
You can fly, I can fly. We can follow along behind them. We can leave these undead minions behind, but they'll likely know that we're tracking them. I don't know this part of the Underdark very well, Gavin. I kind of search my mind to see if I remember any ancient maps of this area. Not a chance.
But you would also know that maps generally are figurative. They generally give general locations, but there's not there's not a lot you would be able to do with regards to sort of mapping area. You could give general locations like cities, but with regards to the tunnels and everything that interlaces, stuff changes in the Underdark. Sometimes it shifts unnaturally in the earth. Other times, creatures will just barrel on through and take out entire tunnels and remake the makeup of the land. It's hard. So, no, you would have no idea where you were
Following
going.
them is almost certain death. If we follow too far behind, we can get lost in the Underdark forever. We either follow along behind them and take our chances. We attempt to go and find another way out of the city and head around them, and then we will have lost them.
I can't exactly leave behind Kaz and the kid, can we?
You'd be surprised at how survivable my sister is. And the child is a vampire.
What, I think you'd be surprised. Yeah. Okay, we could follow him, see if they lead us back to the evil overlord, dickhead master, and, you know, see what he has to say for himself. Probably a monologue.
While you guys are chatting, Gavin, give me a perception check.
That is a 7.
Okay, on a... Yeah, you do actually. Right, Gavin, you spot something. Right, you see something in the distance. It's small, it moves quick, and it is about the size of a cat.
Zune, what do these devours look like? You're muted.
They look like brains on all fours. Why?
About the size of a cat?
Yes.
Stay here. And I go running.
Yeah, you stay here with me, Zune. I'll look
Shut
after
up.
you.
I know you're not an intellect devourer. I do.
So I go running up around the corner and into the alley I thought I saw it in.
Right. I'm gonna, just because of the situation, I'm gonna ask headphones off, guys, just while,
I just gonna say, yeah, just chase the intellect devourer alone, Gavin. It's good plan, buddy.
Thank you for that. I run up to the closest person that I see from my discussion before.
Yep.
And ask any one of them. Just look at them, look them in the eyes, and say, "I need a pathway to the city so I can outflank." They've stolen, and I've lost One-Eyed Man's name. Borak?
That's all you were ever told is he is the One-Eyed Man.
They've taken the One-Eyed Man. I assume we need to get him back. Is there another way to the other city?
He just looks at you blankly for a few seconds, and then he sort of judders slightly, and he reaches in and he opens up a thin piece of vellum and takes out what is essentially a piece of charcoal that has probably come from one of the fucking buildings that has recently burnt down, and he, in record fast speed, begins to sketch you a rough area map of sort of the local sort of place, and he marks down the major locations in the area, but you notice there's no interconnecting to it. So he gives you like rough points and huge caverns, but he doesn't mark any tunnels down. It would appear there's a cavern sort of to the northwest, which has been taken over by a bunch of these guys, but it is dangerously close to the territory which you've been told the Lich is in, the main capital, the once great capital, the Eastern Underdark.
Yep. And then he's going to ask one more question. Is Gregor with you now?
He shakes his head. No.
I turn around and head back to the party.
Okay. He goes back to firefighting.
Oh, I'm back. Hello. Honey, I'm home.
It was nothing. It got into someone.
You followed it.
Can't imagine who.
I went up to the next alley. Again, like before, there was nothing to be seen.
Do I believe you? Do I believe him?
We believed you.
Sure. I'll buy it for $1.
Paladins are usually immune to things like this.
Well, me and Gavin can both eat your
You
brains
said
now.
that before. Diseases.
We can.
We have resistances others don't have, provided by our gods. One could say, when we are very angry. I'm trying to. How do I say this that we can't be charmed?
Well, if it turns out that you are like me, Gavin, then we can both, double dip in on Zune's brains,
My brain is a delicacy that no one will touch but me.
Creepy. You touch your own brain. That's...
I can touch yours if you let me.
Don't know if it's if I show me yours, show me mine, you show me yours kind of scenario, to be honest, Zune. Don't know how Kaz will feel about that. But,
Are we following them or not?
Yeah, what do you think, Gav? I'm down for it.
Perhaps some of these other caverns we can bypass around to the north. To follow behind them in a narrow space is a death trap. All they would have to do is wait for us, ambush us at any turn, and we'd be killed.
I suggest then, if we're planning on going off on a separate course, that we find some sort of steed.
I'm sorry. I just didn't hear you.
Steed or some sort of mount.
Are there Underdark mounts? I mean, Gavin's even asking.
Yeah.
Yes, there are many Underdark mounts, most of which are the pack lizards. There must be a few around here somewhere.
There are people fighting fires in the streets, so if you want to speak to someone, there's a lot of people around. Now the fighting seems to be over. They're trying to save their town from burning to the ground.
Is there a dark elf anywhere?
Yeah, you spot a drow.
I call out in dark elven. Are there any steeds left? Where can I find pack lizards? I have important information.
He turns to point, and as he does so, 3 pack lizards come down the street, being ridden. Literally, like like as you asked, they're there.
That's a 6-pack of lizards right there.
He points and raises an eyebrow, shrugs to you, and yeah.
He's the friendliest drow I've ever met. I like this guy.
It's because their city is under siege. Of course they're friendly. That's what drow do.
I should besiege your city.
He's ignoring you entirely now, going back to Firefox.
I should besiege everyone's city. Wait, that sounds a bit...
You actually see there is the Watcher riding one, and he's holding onto the reins of the other 2, and he jumps in, and
just to confirm, Josh, I'm not resistant to that, right?
Resistant to
my charm.
Oh, no.
The roll. Okay,
what?
Just checking.
Yeah, no.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Everybody's got their own brains, and everything is fine. And Zune is in the safest possible company, and definitely not with 2 fucking mind-devouring intellect ass.
I could really go for some sweet meats right now. I'm kind of hungry.
You guys have 3 mounts provided for you, and they are like vicious. They're very dark skin, like almost like a chocolatey brown. They blend quite well with sort of rock and earth. They have sort of paler underbellies. They look like crocodiles, but they have more like gecko arms, and they have fucking nasty looking teeth. Whatever these are, these don't necessarily look like the lizards you're used to, Zune. You're not sure if the lizards you're used to had very vicious looking stingers on the end of their tails. Not like scorpions, but not too dissimilar.
Can these still walk on walls and ceilings?
He nods, and something else you notice is they have no eyes to speak of.
I'm gonna call my one Brewski.
Ooh, trimmer sense.
Yeah. These things, there's no fucking point in trying
to... That's wonderful. Oh, we can't track them. We have no scent. Can they track? I say, looking up at the person who's handing them.
They nod, and
then we can use
the Watcher jumps down and says, if you have something that used to belong to them.
I pick up one of the dead bodies of the nearest one I can find and give it the general sense?
Again, to follow directly is
with
quote,
tremor
disaster.
sense, we can go around and they will be able to sense it for miles, won't they? Is that not how animals work?
They're sensing the tremors, not the smell.
Smells? Tremors have smells, right? That's
it
a thing.
requires more than one thing to track, not just one sense, surely.
Sure. I'll go with it.
We've got plenty of blood of bad guys on them. That might help.
Yeah.
Let's go then.
You got the zombies, they might smell a bit similar, you know. Got the cloven, you can take some of that.
Gregor, make sure you strap yourself in.
I gotta strap myself right on here, don't worry.
So you guys, you three of you jump onto these creatures
Big fucking
and
strap on, really.
hightail it out of there at speed. You guys make it like immediately up sort of the edge of the cavern and through the tunnels in the wall. And as you do so, you find that you are quite clearly going down a tunnel that hasn't just been trundled through by an entire invading army. There is no tracks left on the floor. It's pitch black. There's no way they navigated. There's no smell of torches to navigate by. There's just nothing here. It doesn't smell like sweat and perspiration. But these creatures seem 100% convinced that this is the way to go. And as they sort of move through, you guys pick up some considerable speed. These things move almost as fast as horses, full on gallop. But you have to strap yourself in because they don't stick to the floor. These things corkscrew. They make their way over terrain you wouldn't even fucking dream of. Sometimes the floor is nothing but stalactites in every direction, and they just keep on going.
Every now and then I want to look back and see Gregor and how he's handling it. Because I'm a Vandry. I can do this, right?
Everyone give me a con save.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I'm not bad on this.
A con save.
Oh, not 20! I'm riding this bitch so hard!
As a Vandry, you are a Vandry, but it's been a while. If you were able to chunder, you feel like you might be able to be chunder. You might be vomiting right now. I mean, it's
I'm gonna
Gavin
sidle.
pukes.
Gavin pukes.
Because you gotta remember, he also can't see.
Oh, dude, that would be the worst. Can you imagine?
I'm gonna sidle up to Zune and just trot past her on Brewski, my little pack animal, as I ride majestically. I'm riding side saddle, by the fucking way, as I ride past.
Yeah, so Gregor, you have an instant companion with this slavering, vicious, meat-eating machine.
Oh yeah.
It curses back at him.
It literally, you're pretty sure if it could speak, it would be the most foul-mouthed, swearing, drinking fucking machine.
It grumbles the whole way.
Yeah. And you see,
it has 3 nipples.
Yeah, it has 3 nipples. You're absolutely right. And as it's making its way, there are points where it just bites off stalactites through its way, just charges through shit. It's a fucking wild ride. And finally, you come out into a small cavern. You get here first by a fucking mile on a nat 20. The others still, their lizards having trouble sort of keeping their riders in their fucking saddles like they're fucking supposed to be. And so one of them's been puked on, which he isn't happy about. But Gregor, you come out into what appears to be a small cavern in comparison to the large one. It's still sizable. You can still fit, quite a few buildings in here, but there aren't any buildings. There are what appear to be tents and small rock dwellings that they've used natural cover. There are some fires burning, and you seem to come into. Give me a perception check as you break out. You come out quite quickly, but this thing is quiet, and you have elevation. You have a really good vantage point, and it is quite dark.
17.
On the 17, you are currently hugging the wall of a very small cavern, but you are above the firelight. There are a couple of campfires burning. There are maybe 200 people here. They are. First things first. On a 17, you smell. It smells fucking terrible.
Ugh.
Yeah. It just smells like of sweat and sickness and horrible. You look down, you see there are people everywhere. There are people in sort of what look to be camps. A lot of it looks military, but not from your side. There are a lot of soldiers streaming in now, and you see them carrying a lot of crates and boxes and other things. And they begin sort of setting them up and sort of distributing stuff. It looks like a refugee camp more than like a highly trained military special forces outpost for like a resistance fighters or anything like that. It looks like a refugee camp. It's pretty fucking miserable. So Gregor, you see all of this. There's no anyone's seen you. There's enough background chatter and everything like that. Plus, this thing is quiet, and you can hear your comrade sort of faintly gaining on you. What does Gregor do?
Come on, Brewski. Go find the others. Their brains.
So Gregor turns and greets his two friends.
Oh, hi there. I didn't
New
spot you
friends.
there.
God.
Yeah. Who has? You've got Gavin has been slightly sick on his mount, and Zoon is. Zoon is looking a little pale still, but I mean, she's had a rough day.
Actually, she's got a flush to her cheeks, which means that she must be really feeling bad.
And you guys see this as well. You've got the elevation, as I mentioned before. It's probably no more than sort of 500 feet across in places. I mean, it's not a big cavern. The ceiling's not particularly high. Maybe sort of like 100, 200 feet.
Come on,
it's nothing.
Take a look here. Oh, Gav, you're looking worse than a unicorn orgy. Come over here. Bunch of guys around here, far enough they can't see us, you know.
Ooh, yeah, they're like fires and stuff, or is it?
Yeah, which means it's really easy to see them even for Gavin, but for them.
Yeah, we're in the shadows.
Pitch black wall. Yeah.
Do you want to perhaps investigate and see what they just say on their own?
Maybe we're sneaking up there.
We can and collect some information, or are we just going to go?
We can't take 200. But.
Or can we?
Or can we?
Or can we?
In the right environment, you know.
Well, I mean, you were saying, I mean, it's a cavern. I mean, it would take magic. I look at Zoon.
The only thing that we could do is cave in this area, and that's dangerous for us as well.
I'm pretty good at cave-ins, you know.
This doesn't seem to be the capital city that we're looking for.
They're going somewhere still. This is just a base fucking camp, you know. But maybe there might be, I don't know. Do you have maps of the Underdark? Is that a thing? They might have them in a tent, or, you know, a commanding officer might have some of those.
Things continually shift in the Underdark.
As this happens, you see a commotion break out.
That's a commotion breaking out there.
It sure is.
You see one of the returning group has been suddenly attacked. So there are guys streaming back, guys that you recognize, look like they've been through a bit of a fight. You see one of them suddenly just gets basically bundled on by everyone around him. They just suddenly grab him, pull him to the floor, and begin beating on him. And you hear outcry going on. You can't make out what's being said, but you hear a lot of people trying to shush. And one of them grabs a gag and begins to gag him. And the whole camp suddenly surges alive and awake and moves around this guy who is dragged into the center of the camp. He has a sort of what appears to be rags stuffed in his mouth. He's being trussed up by a fire, and people gathering around, everyone armed, and a lot of people who have these vials, these flaming vials. You're too far away to hear what's going on at the moment, but it's pretty chaotic.
Zoon, what do you know about intellect devourers and fire?
Nothing. There's no need for an intellect devourer to worry about fire.
Well, your zombie friends all are intact. If they've got a way to detect...
They're back at the city. I would have to animate the new ones
No. what's happening down there. You were talking about how they get in your brain and then they take you over. If they're able to detect intellect devourers, looks like they're taking one of their own.
That is the assessment I came to as well.
Gagging him and dragging him to a fire. I was just wondering if that was, immolating them.
It's possible they're going what I said that I wanted to do with Gregor, is just to kill him, and if they kill him, the intellect devourer must come out, and then they can kill the intellect devourer. It looks like they have a pack mentality. They'll just cut off the disease. Brilliant, actually.
You watch as they take this guy and someone steps up, and this guy's tied essentially to a chair in the center, and a man steps forward with a crossbow, and he loads the crossbow. It's a heavy crossbow, and there's a sudden hush that falls across the group, and then a bolt streaks forward and hits him in the gut, and he begins to scream in pain, like gurgling in pain, and this goes on for some time. And as the minutes tick by, he begins to die from a gut wound, which is a particularly nasty way to go.
Nasty way to do it.
Why?
Yeah.
And finally, his screams cease altogether, and still the group surrounding stares on in silence. And finally, you hear some sobbing from the group as nothing happens, and the group begins to sort of move towards, not really sure what to do, when suddenly something appears in this poor deceased man's lap. It is about the size of a cat. You can't really make out what it is, but it seems to be enough to sway the crowd around as maybe 30 or so glass vials are thrown, and the center of the camp is ablaze.
That is how you handle an intellect devourer.
And with that, we're going to wrap up for tonight. And
is it possible that maybe we're on the wrong side of this fight? That maybe we should go and talk to these guys and be like, hey, what's going on? Are the Dark Elves all being controlled by intellect devourers?
We're going to wrap up there. So
Nice.
Guys?
Nice.
Questions to ask another time. But it's been a pleasure having you guys. I'm going to hand you over to Gregor, who's taken over the show for tonight, and he's going to do some things.
Now the Tuscan takeover.
The Tuscan takeover. There we go.
Might be back next Tuesday, hosting a show. It depends on how the the paperwork folds out in my contract. But I had a good time today, I have to say. I am the world's greatest D&D host, so hopefully you all enjoyed it. To be honest, I don't give a shit if you did, because I fucking enjoyed it, and that's what's fucking important. Let's go around, I guess. Did we enjoy ourselves? Don't care. Where can we find you guys online? Also, don't really give a shit, but it's meant to happen, so we might as well do that. Of course, tomorrow we'll be back for Call of Cthulhu. I won't be there, because I don't give a shit about any other show that isn't my show, The Long March, featuring, as a star, Gregor Tuscanu, and now host. But if you did enjoy the show, I guess you can follow it so you can find me online, you know. Josh, what did you think? Not that we care.
Yeah,
about your own show, mate. Did you have any feelings about it at all?
I had mixed feelings about it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I feel like you could have done better. Maybe given, a certain very handsome dwarf, perhaps some magic items, or maybe a level up or something like that. Maybe that would be my personal feedback.
Sounds like you got a gift, the gift that keeps on giving, Gregor.
Indeed.
That's true. I did get a new brain.
So he is an intellect devourer.
That's right. I am, or am I? I don't know.
We'll find out. It's been a blast. I will be back next week for more Long March madness, and speak to you guys soon. Much love. That
was such a good sign out. Lorelania, see if you can beat that.
Well, I find that every campaign I play a dark elf in, there just happens to be Illithids around. This is just terrifying. Or intellect devourers? Are you an intellect? I'm not afraid of anything, and neither is Zoom.
Let's find out next week, shall we?
Yes. Help me, chat.
Alright, that's you done. On to the next one. Toll Squall.
Yeah, I got to do fun things with Gavin because he got some fun stuff after destroying a book of ultimate evil and dead from the god that he didn't put on a spike. But who knows? There might be more surprises to come with maybe the Raven Queen hasn't completely deserted me. But we'll see.
Maybe.
Steak
Yeah,
jokes.
no, so I
Maybe
had a good
keep
time.
making friends with demons. I mean,
Stakes his own god, gets cool loot. If we learn anything there, guys, it's...
this is gonna
What
be you're
did we learn
gonna be
again?
just fine.
Well, you have to remember, I had two gods. I only staked one of them.
Yeah. You know, you got
there's
you got
that whole,
50% left.
Zeal thing goes on with good old Cuthbert. So yeah, but yeah, I got to bring out Monster Gav, so that was fun. And yeah, with all this new and exciting stuff.
It's cool seeing you in combat. How you've gone from paladin to mage.
I mean, actually, I should say this too because it was from a donation. The mace actually is my pet.
Yes, indeed. He has...
The mace was from on the pet sharp, just like I rolled the same that Louise did. So the mace actually is my sentient weapon pet.
Cool.
This is true.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Quite
it's
cool.
off the pet chart. So I should. That's the thing is I want to mention it because to thank the person for the donation. So they donated the £10, and we never saw what my pet was. I got the sentient. I got a weapon as well.
Well, I'm open for one of those. You know, there's the pet table. That's all I'm saying, guys. You know, maybe I'll be back next week and all that. Well, thank you for watching. I've got a private segment to do here because I'm at the Tuscan Takeover, but we'll see these guys next week, maybe, if I have them back, because I am the world's greatest D&D host. Goodbye, everybody. Bye. Alright, you guys in fucking Zoom, you can fuck off. They're gone now. Alright, now what's gonna happen is, you see, being the world's greatest D&D host, fuck, my beard has gone down again, let's bring it back up. Just wanted to say, thanks, you know, to Will, because he's such a great guy, really handsome guy, you know, now you mention it. Runs a great show, obviously I'm better than him in a great many ways. I am better than him. As a host, as an entertainer, you know, Gregor Tuscanu. I do what I do, and I do it very fucking well. So maybe I'll be back next week. You should all harass Will tomorrow when he's doing his other shows to get me back on, because that's basically all I want. Great job, me, primarily, and everyone else, I guess. Thank you all for your donations in this Twitch chat. Did enjoy it, have to say. And I'll fucking see you guys soon. I'm gonna eat some brains now. Or am I? I don't know. Good deception check earlier, guys. Let's go host someone, shall we? They said love from Gregor. Like from fucking Russia with love, but it's from fucking Gregor with love, you know what I'm saying? I guess we could go host the D&D channel. They're doing pretty dice camera action right now, right? It's a fucking Tuesday. I hate dice camera action's not bad, you know. Holly Conrad, she was on the show, she had a chat with Will and said she was pretty cool, I guess. Would have been better if I interviewed her, but you know, you win some, you fucking lose some. We'll go off the channel. Have a great night, everybody. Tomorrow for Call of Cthulhu, and next Tuesday for me. Gregor Tuscanu. Fucking see you later. Bye.